If you're a coach, consultant, or agency owner trying to get to your first 100K a month, I want to ask you a very simple question. Let's say if I took away your referrals, your existing clients, and your reputation today that you have, could you rebuild your entire sales pipeline from ground zero? Because that's the reality most founders don't want to face. They think they have a client acquisition system, but when you actually look at their business much closer, you start to realize that they actually don't. They have a random content, random sales calls that sometimes actually get closed, random referrals that sometimes come in, random marketing that sometimes performs, and random revenue spikes. And here's the painful part of that. Every Monday they wake up hoping clients will come in, hoping somebody will just book a call so you can actually close them, hoping that the next piece of content brings you some leads, hoping that the next sales call actually can be closed. Hope, in this case, is not a strategy. And that's exactly why so many businesses stay stuck at 10, 20, or 30K months, and why they never build companies capable of doing millions of revenue. It's not because they need another marketing tactic. It's not because they need another AI tool or a funnel. It's not because they need another closer in the business. It's because they never built a machine that performs. Businesses without systems keep guessing. Businesses with systems can actually measure. Businesses that can actually measure their systems can automatically also improve. Businesses that improve create predictable revenue over long periods of time. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. By the end of this entire video that I'm actually going to show, you will understand how to build complete client acquisition architecture that consistently turns strangers into paying clients without relying on lack of referrals or hoping that your next content piece goes viral. So by the end of this actual video, you will know exactly how client acquisition actually works. Not what is the formula, but how the formula is actually created inside of every single service business. So if you're currently a coach, consultant, agency owner, I have a promise to make to you, right? By end of this entire video, you will know exactly how client acquisition architecture formula is actually created inside of your business or any other business. So you never again have to struggle with getting clients inside of your business, okay? So essentially we have 4 phases. We have the top of the funnel phase, we have sales process phase, close deliver phase, and then something that really kickstarts the entire growth, which is the growth loop, okay? So let me walk you through the first phase. The first phase is getting traffic, right? This could be from platforms of Meta, so meaning Facebook, Instagram. This could be to do with, we could get it from Google, running YouTube, right? From YouTube, we could be getting it from, we can also be getting traffic from Google itself, from search engine, or we could also be getting from LinkedIn. We could be getting it from our own email, okay? Or another traffic source could be partnerships, right? So once we have the traffic figured out on what platform we want to run it, then we have to capture their attention. This could usually be to do with a video ad. This could to be do with an image ad, right? So you run your ad. We have to get them interested, which is make them interested in your solution. And this usually could be booking a consultation call. This could be auditing their business. This could be to do with a lead magnet. Maybe you're offering them an actual lead magnet, okay? A lead magnet that could help them to grow their business, a lead magnet that could help them to lose their weight, lead magnet that could help them to understand where their relationship is, lead magnet that could help them to analyze their entire business performance or their leadership performance, right? And so that's called, now we have traffic, we have attention, we have interest. Next, we move on to the lead. Convert interest into actual lead. And that's where that interest is now converted into lead once they submit their information to get the lead magnet or booking the consultation where they're exchanging the information. So that means they're either giving you the name, they could give you email, some of them could even give you a phone number, right? So now once they have given you the information and they have raised the interest, they're giving you the information, they're interested. Now we go through qualification process. The qualification process is determine if they are a good fit for your business. This could be through an application form. This could be through a video, right? Somebody wants to book in a call with you. Somebody wants to take a lead magnet. The next thing you could do is you can actually diagnose the right criteria for your perfect fit customer, right? And so this could be done through ICP video. Right, so you then break it down. This could be also done through a simple form, right? So then go through the qualification. Let's say they're a perfect fit. Now you have a qualified prospect. That qualified prospect books an appointment with you. They book a call with a qualified prospect, and now we need to make sure that they actually show up. For show up rates, right? As we are going through this, show up rates. This could be done through a thank you video, breaking down why they need to attend to the call, instructions of what they need to do after they have actually booked that call in. So this could be done through, hey, before you go, just want to let you know that your call has been confirmed. However, to make sure that we take your call, it's not just enough to confirm your call. To take your call, we would like you to, let's say, add it to the calendar and click down below yes to confirm your actual call that you will be showing up. This will indicate that you are serious. Our team will receive that on our end, and we will make sure we give you the absolute best expert that has expertise for your specific case, right? So now it's like, okay, so I need to confirm the call, I need to book it in my calendar, I need to click yes, all good, now I'm gonna get the expert, right? So this increases the show up rate. Another way is to do, once they have booked an appointment, you have a set to reach out to them, right? You have a set to reaching out, asking some qualifying questions, maybe really kind of pre-selling them before the call, and this will automatically also increase the show up rate. Other one, reminders, right? So this could be done, they book in a call, they get the thank you video, they do everything, etc. Maybe reaches out, and then you could also have reminders, right? So it's like, hey, maybe 24 hours before the call, you could have 48 hours before the call, depending on on what time they're scheduled, but you have reminders. And then just on the day they're actually booking, on the day they have actually booked that scheduled call, you can reach out to them to make sure everything follows through. That's how you increase the show up rate, right? So now we went from traffic, attention, interest, lead, qualification, appointment, show up, right? So now you know all the concepts of how the top of the funnel works. Now let's move on to the sales process, right? So the sales process is not enough just somebody jumps on a call and you immediately start to sell them, right? First thing, what we need to do in our sales process is to really diagnose them, to understand if they really fit the criteria that we want them to be, okay? Maybe you find out that they have no money. Yes, they were making money in the business, they jump on a call and they say like, we're currently going through bankruptcy, I don't have no money to invest. So you don't want to spend 60 minutes trying to close somebody that is actually not, could not be actually closed, right? So we diagnose them. So we uncover their real problems and goals, okay? The problems currently that they have, the current situation, we move them to like showing them what is the problem currently staying where they are, how big is the actual problem. Then we talk about their goals and where they want to go, the vision. And then we present them the roadmap or the actual solution. Only after you have done the full diagnosis on the actual, your ICP. So that means you know exactly where they are, why are they there, what have they tried to get out from the current state, why it hasn't worked. You have also understood that what happens if nothing changes, so you can 10x the entire pain that they currently are having. You have understood what needs to happen in order for them to change and what the change actually looks like. Then we go through the presentation, we show them exactly why we are the right fit for them. We show them the presentation, and then we help them to make a decision. The reason I have included help them to make a decision, not close them, is because closing means you are persuading somebody. Helping them to make a decision, even when they have an objection, let's say I need to think about it, I need to speak to the partner, I need to do X, Y, Z, I need to do some research, I need to pray on it. What you are doing there in that scenario, when you have an objection presented to you, you don't close them. You actually help them. You actually help them to move through their own roadblocks, right? Because the reason they are there is because the way they have been thinking about their current state or where they are is the reason they are in the current state. In order for them to get different results, they need to change the decision making and the way they make decisions and the way they think. And so your thing is to actually help them to make those decisions. You can reframe the mindset of how they make decisions. You can give them analogies, okay? So now we have diagnosis, presentation, and decision. So this covers now the top funnel. We have covered the top funnel. We have covered the sales process. Now let's move on to the close and deliver. So this is where you receive the payment, so basically make a purchase, simple, smooth, platform, Stripe, right? This is also a really important thing though. You want to make it as easy as possible for them to make a payment. You don't want them to do bank transfers, wires, and all of this, unless it's like you're selling the ultra high-end solution costing 200K, and it's like, hey, I cannot take it to the payment processor, because if I take it to the payment processor, what will end up happening is that they will take a huge fee. So I don't want that fee to be paid. So what I want to make sure that like I keep all the money. So like I want you to send me like a wire, right? 200K, 150K, could be done 100K. Anything below that, you should use a payment processor, okay? Because for those type of payments, yes, I could understand, but anything below increases your trustworthiness when you are using like a proven payment method. Then the next part is actually onboarding as well. So this is where you set expectations and create instant momentum. And so then we move into the next process, which is the growth loop, right? So this is where you have onboarded the client already, you have gotten them the results, right? So deliver results and create transformation for them, whatever that could be. That could be increasing the growth of their business, revenue, losing weight, finding another partner, their leadership team increases, performance. It could be a lot of things, right? You get them the results, and then we move on to the next part, which is the retention. Create a loyalty and long-term value for them. And then you ask them for a referral. So turn happy clients into raving advocates. So now you have what's called a kickstart or a boost of the actual growth. So not only depending on the referrals, but having referrals as addition to your actual revenue, okay? So this means we're getting referrals in, so they're increasing the additional revenue in the business, and then we repeat the cycle, okay? So this is the entire top of the funnel, the sales process, close and deliver, and growth loop as well, okay? Every single business on earth is simply moving people from one stage to the next one. Every bottleneck is one stage breaking. So let's say you're not getting them on the sales call. That means top of the funnel is broken. Let's say for example, you're not getting them closed. So that means maybe when they are qualified leads, maybe your sales process is broken. Okay, you cannot get them to actually do the payment. Let's say you cannot get referrals from the existing clients. So that means your entire fulfillment is broken. But every bottleneck is one stage breaking usually. Every system has one job, right? Your traffic, what is the job? Is to generate attention, not to sell. Your lead magnet, okay? So that could be a freebie, a PDF, an audit. You could give like a free strategy session, okay? It's to exchange value for contact information, okay? Landing page, we have create curiosity, not to close them. Application is to filter, not to sell them. Appointment is to create commitment, not sale. Confirmation is to increase certainty, not sale. Sales call is diagnose, not to pitch them. And presentation is to present prescription, not convince them. And payment is to remove the actual friction from what is currently happening, the pain they currently have, the current state they are, and where they actually want to go. We want to remove the friction. We want to remove the pain. So the payment is a form of saying, I'm entering a new phase, okay? Onboarding is to reduce the buyer's remorse, right? So really important. If you have really weak onboarding, really weak expectations, that's where you usually can start sabotaging the entire expectations for your clients, right? Then we have retention, increase lifetime value for the client, and the referral. The job is really to acquire clients much cheaper than you currently have, okay? Every stage has inputs and outputs. So for traffic, we have input. Okay, so we could have ads, content, cold email, and that means the output is visitors. So we generate attention through, we could be generating attention through ads, content, and cold email. Landing page is once we're moving from landing page, we get them from the output, from the traffic output. We have visitors, we input the visitors into a landing page, we get out leads. Those leads get inputted into an application, and that means we either get qualified or unqualified prospects, right? So qualify and assess who is the right fit for your business. We get the output of qualified prospects into actual sales process. Those qualified processes, the qualified process of qualified prospects become customers, okay? And rinse and repeat. Systems always transform one input into one output. That is a system engineer. That is a system engineering. So next one is client acquisition funnel. Okay, so here I want to walk you through some numbers that you need to really understand. Let's say we have 1,000 visitors, 200 leads, and 60 applications, 30 calls, 20 show up, and 6 clients. So that means visitor to lead rate is 20%, lead to application rate is 30%, application call to rate is 50%, call show up rate, let's say 67%, right? So where is the bottleneck? If you look at this, right? If you look at all of these numbers, 1,260, 30, 20, 6, where is the actual bottleneck, okay? Is it traffic? No, it's not traffic. Is it sales? No, it's applications. Because out of 200 leads, right? This is how you engineer the architect. This is how you understand the formula. From 200 leads, you're only getting 60 applications. Okay, so from 200 leads, you're only getting 60 applications. That's less than 50%. Okay, that's 30%. From your leads, you're getting less than 50%. So that could be like 45% something, 45%, something like that. Okay, so you're having you're having 50%, it says 50% conversion, but 50% out of 200 would be 100 applications, but it's not correct. So it's somewhere between 40 to 45%, okay? So once you know it's an application problem, so should you run more ads? And sometimes people say, well, because we're not getting enough sales calls, right? We're not getting enough calls, we should put more traffic. But the problem is not the traffic here. The problem is that after we have converted 200 leads, none of them are actually filling in the application. So what's wrong? The problem is that the way we have captured the leads, the way we have captured the interest, the way we have captured it, we are not efficiently moving them to the next stage, which is the application. So the problem is the application. So we need to fix the applications, not to increase the traffic. Okay. So no, you should fix the applications first before you run the actual traffic. Some consultants charge thousands for what we have been uncovering currently in a minute. All right. So for this little diagnostic, somebody would actually go inside of your business and charge you hundreds of thousands of dollars, or sometimes even tens of thousands of dollars, just to show you what actually is happening. We can do this in minutes. So you usually have to look at the numbers that are actually coming in. So if you have like 1,000 visitors, 200 leads, okay? So from 1,000 visitors, you have converted into 200 leads, and you have only 60 applications. So that means the problem is applications, because if we increase applications, we increase the calls, we increase the show up rate, we increase the clients. So not necessarily more traffic, because if your link or your application link is broken and you're putting in more traffic, we are not maximizing the applications. We are not maximizing what we are actually getting for our money. We need to maximize it. And so this is where it comes in, to fix in the right bottleneck at the right time, not to put in more visitors, put 2,000 instead of 1,000, but you will still have the same problem. Yes, maybe you will say, hey, we're getting more clients, let's just keep pushing. But the real bottleneck is hidden in application. So once you fix the applications, that automatically increases absolutely everything. Okay. So let's talk about throughput. So I'm going to give you two business models that you can start understanding this. So let's say I have business one, lower conversion system. So more traffic, same system, lower results. So this means we're putting more traffic in here, more visitors. Okay. So right now we have 1,000 visitors here. We have 100 clients, right? So overall 10% conversion. So we have, out of 1,000, we have 10% conversion. Right now, the revenue outcome of, let's say we are selling it for 10K, it's 1 million. Okay, so from 1,000 visitors, we have, let's say, 10% conversion. Now, let's imagine business number two, higher conversion system. So same traffic, better systems, more results. So right now, instead of just converting 100, we are converting 200 clients. So looking at the second business, we can understand that because you have increased the conversion, instead of getting 100 clients, you're getting 200 clients. Same traffic, higher conversion increases higher revenue. So like instead of getting just 100 clients, you're getting 200 clients, which is, you're making 50% more revenue than the first business. Okay. So that's the question, which business makes more? And the obvious answer is the second one, without increasing the traffic, because they improved the throughput. Every stage has a conversion rate. Once you improve that conversion rate for that specific stage, you can increase automatically and unlock more growth inside of the business. So the same example here, we can have 1,000 visitors. We can have 200 leads, right? Same businesses. Let's say one business puts more traffic in and they are paying more expensive for leads. They are paying, they're spending more time, and they're only making, let's say increasing traffic. So maybe making maximum 8 clients, 10 clients, right? And then there's a business that fixed the application stage. So now from the same 1,000 visitors, they're, let's say, getting 100 applications, maybe 120 applications, 150 applications. For that same traffic, they're probably 10xing the entire clients, right? They could go from just simply from 6 clients to 60 clients. Why? Because they can increase, because they have improve the overall conversion rate of the same acquisition funnel by improving the application, by improving the calls, by improving the show up rate, by improving the show up rate, the calls, the application. You increase the conversion rate. So that means you can go from somebody that's just getting 6 clients, you can go from getting from the same funnel 60 clients. Okay, how is it possible? It's possible because you have improved the application, you have improved the calls, you have improved the show up rate. And that's overall, improving your funnel just by little percentages can make dramatic outcomes, dramatic results for you as well. Okay, so not necessarily putting in more traffic in a weak, broken funnel, but actually fixing the funnel to the stage where you can put 1,000 visitors in, you're getting more leads out, you're getting more applications, more calls, more show up rate, more clients. Because usually you could have two businesses that are just trying to fix the symptoms. So they're thinking that, hey, we need to put more visitors in. But the problem is not the visitors. The problem is that you have really weak, broken funnel. And that's the reason you can't really convert and you cannot maximize the revenue you get from that funnel. By fixing that funnel, you can put the same amount of visitors as the first business and get 10 times more, 60 times more what that other business is getting, because you have fixed the conversion rate of the actual funnel. Okay? So again, every stage has a conversion rate. So the conversion flow, we have traffic, right? Attract people into your ecosystem. So this could be total visitors, top of the funnel, the metric. Then we have opt-in percentage. Visitors take action and join your list. This metric could be opt-in rate. We have application percentage. Leads apply and raise their hand. So this means people that are interested and they go through the application process. This could be application rate. Then we have a booking percentage, which is approved leads to book a call. So that means all your qualified leads. Then we have this metric is called the booking rate, right? Calls booked and applications filled. Then we have a show up rate. People who actually show up on the call. This is a show up rate metric. Then you have your close percentage. Calls convert into paying clients, which is called the close rate. Okay, but this is what brings you predictable revenue. Okay, this is the entire how you create the entire formula. Let's say you're getting enough traffic, but you're currently not getting enough opt-ins. So my question to you is, would you increase the traffic? No, you would have to fix the bottleneck that's actually holding you back from converting that traffic, which is the opt-in percentage. We need to get the opt-in rate right. Let's say you're getting the opt-in rate, you're getting the application, the booking calls, but you're not getting the show up rate. So my question is, would you again put in more traffic? No, because you have to fix the show up rate. Let's say you're having the show up rate, but you're not closing enough. You know that you are speaking to the right qualified leads. You know everything. My question to you is, would we put in more leads? No, because what you are doing at the end of the day, you are just fixing symptoms. You're not fixing the core problem, which is the actual problem, which is the sales. So by fixing the sales process, by fixing the sales itself, that's where you ultimately are unlocking extreme growth inside of your business. So this is the revenue multiplication, okay? Your revenue is the result of multiplying every stage of your funnel. So let's say you have 1,000 visitors, and let's say 40% of those visitors hop in and they opt in, okay? So you have 40%. Out of those 40%, 30% are going through an application rate. So that means we need 1,000 visitors. We have 400 of those visitors opt in, 120 applications, and we have 70% approved leads, so booking a call. So we have 84 booked calls, right? Out of those booked calls, we have 67 calls show up, and out of those 67 calls show up, we have 17 people that actually become clients. So we have 25% close rate. Okay, so that's really easy maths. 1,000 multiplied by 40%, multiplied by 30%, multiplied by 70%, multiplied by 80%, multiplied by 25%, and that equals 17 clients. So let's say if we're selling, like, assuming like we are selling average of $10,000 the package, that means we have potential revenue of $170 in revenue, right? So multiply these percentages, it multiplies your revenue. Once you understand this, so by understanding this formula, there's a couple great things. Let's say you can start improving your funnel. The main thing of your funnel is to get it to a T, right? So sometimes people say, okay, my funnel is performing very well. Maybe that funnel that's performing well is just an average funnel, average performing funnel. You want to increase it to absolute T. How do you do it? You do it by looking at your actual numbers. What happens after those 1,000 visitors come? Let's say, how can we improve the 40% opt-in rate? What can we do to improve that 40% opt-in rate? What can we add to improve it? What can we do to improve our application rate? Even by getting it up by 5%, you automatically multiply this as well. You multiply the call booked, you multiply the show-ups, and you multiply the clients. So just by improving one of these, right? Or just by one of these, you automatically have way more to get out from here. Okay? So this is what it means getting to your funnel to a T. A perfect funnel. So this is not magic, it's just simply multiplying the numbers. Let's talk about the bottleneck. Let's say that you have traffic, landing page, and application. Application is usually the main bottleneck for most businesses. right? So what a normal person would do, a normal average founder would do, he would run more ads. More ads, he would get more more people landing on landing page. Maybe some people will go through more. So he says, hey, look, we ran more ads, we got more applications, right? But that's not the problem, right? So that's just everyone runs more ads. The smart CEO fixes the actual bottleneck, which is the applications. And this is what potentially can save a business hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands, because a lot of you are spending more on ads without realizing what is the actual problem. The problem is the application. So once you fix the application, you fix the entire funnel, you fix the entire conversion rate of the funnel. If you don't fix it, you're going to be spending more on the actual symptoms than the actual solutions. Let's talk about the feedback loop, right? So this is the growth flywheel. You turn results into more clients on autopilot, okay? So you have traffic. So that means ads, content, cold email, referrals, right? Your goal is to get more qualified visitors and lower cost acquisition, lower click acquisition costs, okay? Cost per acquisition. So then you have your high conversion. So that's your sales process. So you have sales system, offer positioning, qualified calls, consistent close rate. Okay. So this is a higher close rate, more high ticket, right? So then you have your clients, happy clients, onboarding, fulfillment, implementation, and results. You have your goals, long-term relationships, premium value, case studies, from your existing clients that you actually have delivered the results. So you have case studies, testimonials, client interviews, data and KPIs, and your goal is credibility, social proof, authority. And we move into the content. So now you're taking these case studies, you're taking the entire process of what are you doing here, and this is the main goal which you need to be understanding here. It's not just posting content, but it's posting content about how you actually run your business, how you run your process, what are you seeing out there in the marketplace, and this is what starts attracting more people. So what ends up happening here is we're getting more traffic, more sales, more client, more case studies, and now you're producing more content. So you're producing that on YouTube, LinkedIn, short form, newsletter. Your goal is to get more reach, more inbound leads, and stronger actual branding. So you have better clients, bigger results, more content, more exponential growth as well. So good business creates loops, bad businesses restart everything from ground zero. This is, you have to repeat this, rinse and repeat, and that's how you build a big brand, okay? So next, let's talk about actual compounding. So by increasing, like, again, you have a lot of stages in the business here. Okay, we could go from, you have traffic, opt-in, application, booking, everything as well, okay? By increasing that stage just by 1%, you automatically improve the conversion of that funnel, okay? 1% better every stage equals massive growth. Improving every conversion rate by 5% often creates dramatically more revenue than doubling the actual ad spend. Again, usually what we are doing when we are putting in more traffic here, and when the main problem is actually applications, putting more traffic here, is like we are trying to solve the symptoms, right? But we are not really focusing on the core problem. By increasing the conversion rate of your funnel, you can automatically drastically increase the revenue. You can have explosive growth just by fixing like the smallest thing inside of your funnel. Like even the wording, you can fix. Sometimes, like what I have seen before is a lot of big entrepreneurs talk about is fixing simple wording in a funnel delivers out like a massive growth. So think about fixing little things inside of your funnel, making it 1% better, making it 5% better, 10% better, automatically increases the revenue, okay? So let's talk about client acquisition equation, the revenue formula. Every step in your funnel multiplies your results, right? So we have traffic, which is the total number of people entering your funnel. That could be 10,000 visitors. Conversion rate, visitors who take action and become leads, that could be 20% conversion rate, so that means 2,000 leads. We have leads who show up for the call, so 60%, so 1,200 show-ups. And then we have lead who buy and become clients. So let's say 30% close rate, so 360 clients. Let's say our average price is 5,000, so that means 1,800,000 in revenue, right? 360 clients multiplied by 5K. So your revenue is the result of multiplying every stage of your funnel. So what I want you to understand here is by improving this funnel, you can get from, like, let's say you improve this one, visitors who take action and become leads. By improving this stage of conversion rate, right, you can automatically improve this revenue. Because by putting more people here, right, they go to the next stage more, you are improving the revenue. If you put here, let's say your close rate even goes much higher, you're getting higher clients. You're again improving the revenue. So you don't necessarily need to put more visitors in. You have to fix the entire funnel, the engine, right? It's not just like here. What you are doing really are you're putting new tires on the car, right? But the new tires are not necessarily going to perform better. What you need to do is you need to get like a stronger engine, a better driver, right? Better instructions. There's other things than just putting fresh wheels on the car. So like usually the traffic is like the fresh wheels on the car, and everything else is the engine, the driver, and like everything else that comes in. Usually you have to fix everything else in order for you to get the absolutely best traction on the wheels. And so like to get the best amount, get the absolutely the best on your visitors is to sometimes improve the conversion rate, the show rate, the close rate, and that. Okay, and by sometimes also increasing the average price. And let's say we do this by let's say we increase this by 500. Okay, so let's say 5.5k, you automatically increase the revenue as well. Okay, so if revenue is down, if your revenue is down, let's say one of these 5 numbers is broken, right? One of these 5 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, usually if your revenue is down, it could be that, let's say if you fix and you say, yeah, there's a lot of visitors coming in, but they're maybe not converting, it usually be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these numbers could be the reason your revenue is down. Okay. Sometimes improving the qualification of your process and improving the prices could also rapidly increase the actual revenue. So CEO thinking, right? I want to give you a CEO thinking based on looking at average executors and operators versus like high elite CEOs, right? An average founder says, we need more clients. A CEO says, where is the biggest constraint? Where is the constraint in the business? An average founder would say, let's run more ads. A CEO would say, let's diagnose first to really understand what's happening. An average founder would say, hey, hire setters. A CEO will say, let's fix the conversion. Average founder would say, we need more leads. A CEO would say, I need better actual systems. Let's talk a little bit more about leverage, right? So you have one founder, one salesperson, one sales system, one sales team. Okay, so you build the vision, the offer, the foundation. That's you. Then you have one salesperson, you bring in one closer who follows the system and gets results. Then you create a repeatable, predictable system that consistently generates sales, okay? And you build a team that scales the system and drives the predictable growth. And that's how you get predictable, scalable growth inside of your business, okay? So like you are building systems, you're not just building the work hours and the people to work more hours. You need to be building systems. So this is why people don't scale and systems can scale people, okay? Let's talk about predictability. When you have no systems in place, you have no clear process, everything is reactive, right? You keep guessing, so you guess what to do and you hope for the best results. You have a lot of stress, inconsistent results, constant uncertainty, and random revenue, unpredictable income, ups and downs, right? When you have the right systems in place, you are scaling the systems and you're placing people in the systems, then you have clear processes, everything is intentional, you track the right numbers and know what's working. You can optimize as well the systems and increase the results, and you have predictable revenue, consistent growth, predictable income. This is the entire formula. This is the entire formula of how you create predictable client architecture inside of your business. So you never ever again have to struggle with getting clients, because now you understand different parts of the formula, how the formula is actually created, how to maintain the formula, and how to make sure that you never ever struggle with clients inside of your business.
Before you leave, I want to give you something really special. It took me years of failures, mistakes, lessons, client work, and real-world experience to understand what actually builds a successful business. And no, not the theory type, not the social media advice, not some vague advice I got from a book, but real actual fundamentals. The things that create predictable growth, strong leadership, scalable systems, and long-term success. So I condensed everything into a single scaling actual roadmap. It shows you exactly what to focus on at every stage of growth, so you stop guessing and start building with actual clarity inside of your business. If you want it, click the Instagram link, it's down below in the description, and DM me the word roadmap, and I will send it to you over personally. And remember this, business don't grow because founders work really hard at it, or because you have to put in more hours. They grow because founders focus on the right things at the right time, at the right stage. See you in my next video.